Thank you. Hi, I hope you're in the right place. There's the title of our panel up there. If you're not in the right place, well, you're here now too. Sorry, not sorry. I'm your moderator, Tanya Seifert-Tier, and we're gonna do some intros, but first a quick housekeeping and a little thing for me. For those of you that don't know, the video game industry is currently unionizing. So if you, yes. So if you are a game dev, aspiring game dev, laid off game dev, then I do have some pamphlets for CWA UVW. Come see me after the show or after the panel, not after the whole show. I hopefully won't have any left. But yes, if you are a supporter and believer of unions, please go join if you are in the industry in any capacity. So with that, we're gonna get started, because I have no shame. I will shill for the union. So I'm not gonna read this at you. I've been in too many corporate jobs where people read PowerPoints at you. But just to note that while it does say streaming, we are gonna talk about other kinds of content besides streaming, you know, journalism, other things that folks on the panel all do. And, you know, all of us, despite what someone on Blue Sky thinks that we don't look old enough to be on this panel, which, I'm sorry, black don't crack, I can't help you. We are going to talk about this and, you know, the things that we see, the things that we hear, because too many times I've been in a stream chat and hear someone going, oh my God, I'm so old, I'm so old. I'm gonna be 25 on my birthday. Yeah. And I'm like, Miss Scusi, what? You are literally half my age, child. So those kinds of things where, you know, there isn't really harm intended in saying that, but it does give you an idea that you are not welcome, you are not wanted when you are over 25, over 30, over 40, over 50, and still doing creation of whatever your content is. Housekeeping. Thank you to my friend Mandy Lady Luck for giving me a picture of her dog. The dog often side-eyes her when she's on work meetings, and she sends me the pictures because it's funny. So a little bit of housekeeping. When we do get to Q&A, hopefully we will have time for that. Have a question. If you've ever seen me moderate a panel at any PAX, I will tell you to go find one. And if you don't believe me, go find other videos of PAX panels that I've moderated. I will tell you to go find a question. Because we have limited Q&A time, and I would love it if we could get through the whole queue whenever we do get to questions. Make sure it's relevant, make sure it's succinct. And again, Q means question. And with no further ado, everyone's gonna introduce themselves. Who are you? What do you do? And at what age did you get into content creation? I'm gonna start at the end and I will go last.
Oh no, you're starting with me?
Yes, you sat down there. Oh, congratulations.
Hello, I'm...
use your microphone.
Oh, sorry. How's this? Is this better? Hi, my name is Tyler Boyce. I am a video game designer, specifically narrative and writing, mostly working freelance. Yeah, so I guess I just started getting into game design and content creation about 5 years ago now? Yeah, oh wow, it's almost been 5 years. But yeah, and you know, still going at it, so.
It's my turn now. Hi, my name is Hadil. I am a graduate student researcher at the University of Massachusetts, where I study girlhood and material culture with a focus on online communities and physical video games, which I think is really cool. I have been creating content online for, gonna age myself here, probably about 15 years. I'm 36, so that's a hot minute. But yeah, I think that's me.
Hi, I'm Lauren Urban-Sheeher. I am currently the content manager and social media manager for WizKids. I have been making content for the TTRPG sphere in general for about 12 years. But before that, and continuing, I'm a classically trained oboist, and so I was putting out music and oboe playing for a couple of years before that, because I am 48, so I've been doing this for quite a while.
Oh, hey, howdy, hi, y'all. My name is Alex. I use they, them pronouns. I just forgot everything I was gonna say. That's cool. I am like 34, and I've been doing content for about 10 years in the TTRPG space. I've been doing content for about 3-4 years, so definitely the baby here. It's cool. All is well.
Hi, I'm Keith Mitchell. I am the editor-in-chief of a gaming geek culture outlet called the Outerhaven. I've been doing this for about, officially about 16 years, unofficially about 20 years now. Also an IT professional of 30 years, and I am 48 years old, soon to be 49. And I love what I do.
I'm your moderator, Tanya Seifert-Tier, she, they. I've been doing content creation for about, well, total, if you count including writing fanfic and other things, about 20 years. Look, fanfic life, fanfic life. And then if you just look at Twitch streaming, YouTube videos, the last 12 years, Twitch partner for 8, in TTRPG space the last 6 years, and I have no shame in saying that I'm 52 going on 53. So, look, and it ain't clean living, don't get excited. So, we're gonna have a little conversation amongst ourselves, back out to you, and then when we do get to Q&A, I will ask you all to line up. So, one of the things we talk about a lot is it's hard being older as a creator, because everything is so youth-oriented. By youth-oriented, they really push like being the tween, the teenager, the young adult. That's what you see in a lot of ads and a lot of other things. You know, when we see like Twitch adverts, we often see the people who are younger that are in things like that. So for those of you on here, any of these bullet points, if you'd like to address, you know, like how hard it is to find community with older creators, dealing with ageism, and you know, I know like for a couple people on the panel are parents. So you've got day job, content, life commitments, small human commitments. And then a big one that I kind of crowdsourced through my community is that generational disconnect of the things you're talking about and then what your audience is talking about. So which one do we want to talk about? Go.
I'm going to grab that last one.
Okay.
The generational disconnect, because I do feel like there's a fine line that I try to walk, and sometimes I am unsuccessful at it, sometimes I'm better at it, in where I want to try to keep up with what the kids are doing, and I make that joke, but it is, I think, important for me just as a human to not dismiss things because they are the new. I see things that my parents' generation have done that they don't want to learn new things, they don't want to learn new technology, they don't want to learn new music, they don't want to learn new anything because it's just new and they get stuck in their ways. And I don't want that to be me. So I very intentionally try to keep up with things that are going on, mostly for my own benefit, so that I am not getting stuck in my own ways. And whether I like it or not, that's different. But it does mean that sometimes when I'm on a stream and I make a reference to something from the 80s or the 90s, and most of the people in my audience, it flies over their head, I have to make a decision. Is this worth explaining or not? Is this something that is worth taking the time to be like, okay, sit down, let me tell you a story, or you know what, just don't worry about it. And it's a moment-to-moment thing, and sometimes because I'm able to keep up with things that are going on, I can connect that to something going on now in popular music, or in popular TV shows, or in the latest video game that's out, or in a new app that's come out. And sometimes I just have to accept, no, people are not going to understand what a rotary phone was like, and it's okay, and I just need to move on. So yeah, that's a moment-to-moment thing when I am in a performance situation where I have to be very aware that sometimes I'm gonna make a reference that only 1% of my audience gets, and I need to be okay with moving on.
I'll take the balancing day job, content, and life commitments. So I feel, especially in this area, I live in the Seattle area, there are a lot of networking events for creators that happen. but they take place at the weirdest times. It makes Seattle seem like the most unemployed city on earth. Like a Thursday at 11, like, ma'am, I'm in meetings. And I have found like I will be invited to these things, and then by nature of having to decline all the time, because again, I have a day job. I simply cannot take my ass is taking the bus. I'm sorry. I'm not driving down here. Like on a Wednesday at 2. No, I can't come to a networking event at a boutique donut shop to talk with other TikTok stars, because unfortunately I have to go pick up my 4.5-year-old from her Bluey themed day camp. So, which I wish there was a Bluey themed day camp for me. Just throwing that out there. If anybody wants to like sync up on that so we can do that. I've gotten really good at keepy uppy these days, but it starts to feel very alienating because these content creators who are very young and they have lower commitments, and I'm not saying just because they have lower commitments that that's a bad thing. That's just where they are in life, but it definitely feels very alienating to watch those opportunities just slowly leave. For me specifically, because I would love to get to know other creators. I would love to be able to do these events. I was just invited to, and I have extra opinions about it, but I was invited to a very cool event, but I only had a week to respond, and it's in another state. And it's like, I need to arrange care for my child because my partner has a day job too, so who's gonna watch her while I have to fly down to Los Angeles for this event that starts on a Friday, and then doesn't end until Monday. So that's something that, as somebody with not just like a day job, but I also have like academic commitments and like a family to take care of, that's been really hard to kind of just like deal with, if that makes any sense.
I know, it makes perfect sense. A lot of times there'll be things where, oh, this starts at 10 a.m. Pacific, which is noon for me because I don't live here. I live in Chicago. And like you said, this whole, do you all have day jobs? Does no one have a day job anymore that is a creator? And that's not a slam. A lot of people are full-time creators, or, you know, their partner is a full-time creator and they've got the day job or what have you. But it's like there's no consideration of anyone outside the like 18 to 20-something demographic where this is their full-time gig. And they can rearrange their stream schedule, what have you, to jaunt off to LA for an event. And they don't have to worry about, you know, care for a small human or what have you.
And if I can just like expand just a little bit, I won't take too long. On the other hand of when these start, the ones that I can go to, they start at like 9 p.m. That's my bedtime. I'm sorry. I'm rewatching K-pop Demon Hunters and then tucking myself in. But they start at 9 p.m. First of all, that's too late. And they're at like a bar. I don't drink for personal reasons, but it's like I don't necessarily want to try and network with somebody that's like 3 drinks in. That just isn't a good time for me. I'm so glad that they're having a good time, but that's a party. That's not a networking event. So that's another thing I'm sure we have all encountered. It's like some of us have bedtimes.
Oh, you mind if I grab 2 and 3 real quick?
Sure, go for it.
So I find it a little bit different because I come from a different world, because I'm more so journalism and content creation, which is kind of a fine line. Like, I don't know what exactly I am anymore. And I have a wife, I have 2 kids, I have a silly dog, and I have a full-time job. Not to mention, I also edit the podcast, edit videos, do streaming, fix people's articles, and it's like I don't have enough time in a day to do this, and this. And then also fight with companies. Hey, I heard you have this event coming up, but you didn't invite me out, but you invited other people out, but we're in the same lane. So why is that? And I find that a lot of times when I talk to people, they go, well, it depends on your audience. And I'm like, what audience? We're in the same audience. We have the same people. We're doing the same things. Is it because I'm a little older? Is it because you don't think I don't have what it takes to hang with the younger generation? Because, you know, honestly, we're just talking game-wise, to be honest. You know, half these young people, I run circles around you guys. And it's like, why can't I keep up with them at an event? Or why can't you invite me out to these events? And then, as you mentioned, they do have events. They're like, oh, hey, by the way, we got this event in another state away at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Can you come? No, I have to work. And then it kind of feels bad when you tell them, no, you can't, because it's like, if I tell them no, will they invite me out for something else ever again? So it's always that fine line you have to balance, and it just drives me crazy.
I do actually understand that. I don't have any little ones running around, but I do have 2 cats and a design studio that I run, as well as I'm executive producer and creative director for my podcast, but that comes with me wearing a lot of hats, and I'm managing a team of other adults who have lives and commitments. One of the people in my team is a parent, one of them is a caregiver. They don't have the time, energy, or money to just go jet setting off to LA to go and drink $20 cocktails at somebody's basement bar. Who is doing that? Who has the time, energy, or money for that? We have to be, for myself and for my team, we have to be exceedingly intentional with the way that we expend our time and our energy, just because we have so many commitments of things to do in a day. And like Tanya and Halil said, and I'm sorry, say your name. Keith, there we go. I'm sorry, baby. I'm going to call you Tyler. But the way that my fellow panelists have said, you have to you begin to feel after a point okay, are y'all not inviting us out for this because I'm not a high school graduate? Because I get it, I can do the whole TikTok constant streaming thing as well, and just have my face on the internet talking to an audience of people who may be probably 12 and obsessed with Lububus or whatever. And I don't speak middle school, you know what I mean? These people, we travel in different circles. And it can feel after a point as though these events or these opportunities are being meted out to people who don't have these obligations and whatnot, because it's easy to be shunted to the side when you are older in general, in society, but especially in the content creator space. So lots of intentionality is necessary, for sure.
And Tyler, did you have anything?
Yeah, I can speak to dealing with ageism, if only just because I have a rather unique perspective on it. So, coming from game dev, it used to be that the average age of someone in game dev was very much mid-20s, whether you were a junior or mid-level. And then, unfortunately, you wouldn't see a lot of people 50 and older. I'm sure people keep up with all the layoffs that are going on in the games industry, and the major consequence of that is that a lot of people are getting, who are juniors, are getting laid off, which of course are the people in their 20s. So it's this weird, almost a double ageism, I guess, where you have, older people, but also very young people kind of being shoved out in favor of people in their 30s and 40s. And I have to admit, I've kind of actually benefited a little bit from that, because I am 33, so you actually beat me out by a couple months.
Oh my God, I'm older than you.
Almost 34, almost. And yeah, so I got into game development relatively recently and late in my life. Thus far, late in my life. Sorry. And it's people will assume oh, you're 33, so you have 15 years of job experience, and it's that's absolutely not the case. And but yeah, even so, in my master's program, for example, the average age of the person in my master's program was 21, and I entered that program at 29. So yeah, it's this weird kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Assumption. There we go. That because you're older, you therefore have more experience, but don't be too old, because otherwise we need to get younger people in, and it's really unfortunate to see. I do think that the industry is starting to improve on that a little bit, if only just because they're all looking for like the mid to senior level developers, and those are the people who are over 40 years old. Yeah, so by circumstance, they kind of have to look for people who are older now.
For me, with the ageism, it's been there because I didn't start streaming till I was 40. I decided when Dragon Age Inquisition came out that I was going to stream because I'm a big Dragon Age nerd. Look, I have a tattoo. I'll show you later. And even then, like like the few times I'm on camera, I don't really go on camera for various reasons because also people are terrible. I will get the whole, well, why are you here? This idea, and also fandom spaces, because Adil and I have talked about fandom spaces a lot, where, if you're over a certain age, well, this is for younger people. You shouldn't be writing fanfic. You shouldn't be doing blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, who do you think wrote the fanfic that got you here, friendo? Look, hands up if you remember the days of zines and Spock. And yes, my people. So, we are the predecessors of the folks that are in these spaces now. And that's what I find interesting about the ageist part of it, where I've met a lot of people that feel like they're the first one to ever do the thing. And I was like, oh, you sweet summer child. Please let me inform you of the things. But with ageism, a friend of mine who's actually here at the con doing booth stuff, he's, we're not that close in age, but he's older. And, he's got a few grays going on. And I was in a stream once where someone actually said to him, what's this old man doing here? First off, you came to his stream. I'm sorry, you all new to Twitch. Have you not seen the terrible things people say?
Yeah.
Been there 12 years, I know. But these ideas that if you are of a certain age, you're supposed to grow up and put away the childish things. Except we now have the money for the childish things. So clearly I have a problem with the ageism. Also, this is not church and call and response. So if you have a question, hold on to it till later. Anything else before we move on to the next slide?
First I thought I got muted because I was talking too much, but
I don't have that power. This is not Twitch.
Don't. Kind of on like the people just saying whatever comes to mind is very much a Twitch thing, but I have definitely had an Instagram post breach containment, and Instagram is like mean. Those are mean girls over there. Somebody asked me, why wouldn't you part your hair down the middle? I'm like, what? You leave my side part out of this, first of all. So now I'm like self-conscious about my side part. But
Send
that's like,
them to me.
and I'm like,
Hadil.
why? I'm like, please leave her alone. She has never done anything wrong in my life. And I'm gonna be honest with you, my hair will never be parted down the middle. I tried it once, and it was like seeing my Waluigi. It will not happen again. It will not happen again. No, ma'am. Anyway, that's all. I just wanted to share that. And that's right, we do have money. We have big girl and big boy money that we can buy Labubu's with, so.
Oh my God. I wasn't sure where this panel was going to go, and I'm just riding with it, y'all. All right, let's be a bit more positive before we talk about specifically bridging the generational gap. I know I mentioned some of the things on here, but I love bullet point 2 because I believe all of us predate the internet, and many of us in the audience predate the internet. Come on, give it up. If you're older than the internet, give up those claps. But one thing I'd like to talk about is the last 2 bullet points specifically about you're never too old to start creating, and that could be anything. It doesn't have to be streaming. But also the fact that being a content creator of any stripe costs money. So I want to talk about that because too many people, again, will go out and buy $4,000 or $5,000 computers, $2,000 DSLR, and then are surprised when people just don't magically show up. But does anyone have thoughts specifically on the last 2 bullet points or any of them? But those are the 2 I'm kind of like in my bag about today.
I think the last one is the one that I like the most.
Go
Like,
for
you're
it.
never too old to start creating. Like, in general, creation is a human privilege. It is an act of honor in general.
Lean forward.
Oh, hello. Can y'all hear me? So yes, I genuinely believe that creation in general is something that every human has a right to do and the ability to do. It doesn't matter about skill set or blah, 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 blah. Like, people were cave painting before they had language. You know what I mean? So if you feel that spark, you got that itch, you want to make a thing exist in the world, go do it. Go do it, because nobody's going to do it like you. And it doesn't matter if you have your crown of silver or if you're still wet behind the ears. Get on whatever your platform is, or no platform, and do the thing. Because frankly, the internet is filled with people who are like fresh out of high school at most. You know what I'm saying? Like being the face of like TikTok or Twitch or whatever situation. And it's important to me and other content creators in this space in general to see people who are like, who have jobs and obligations and families and lives outside of being a creator, because it shows that there is a path forward. This is a little corny, but like, representation matters. You know what I mean? Like, so put yourself out there. If you don't see it, be it for somebody else.
All of that is excellent. And I want to jump off of that. I'm going to put on my classical musician hat for a moment. And both of those come into play with this, because yes, you're never too old to start creating, and that goes for more than just being a Twitch streamer, being a podcaster, being any of that. Teaching others how to play a musical instrument, you gotta get the instrument, you gotta find a teacher to teach you. If you wanna learn how to do anything with music. And that was something that was always very important to me as a teacher, is that no, the 60-year-old that was coming on in that finally had the time to learn how to play the oboe is just as important. And the fact that they're learning just because they want to learn to play. They want to learn to create, because creation is important, and making music is important, and making art is important. And so the streamer that's coming on that is just doing it because they love to do it, just having fun playing their game and talking online, and that it's okay to just do it for the love of doing it and having fun in it. They don't need to be the next giant Twitch streamer. They don't need to look to be the next huge YouTube star. That it's okay to just have fun and be a creator and look at what they're doing and enjoy it. And so you don't have to be the 18-year-old looking to be the next insert creator here. You can be the 30-year-old who's got the job and has the kids and has a good, happy life, but has always kind of wanted to just, play Halo for a couple of hours on stream with their friends and do something silly. And that's, not only is that okay, but like, yeah, go have fun. That's great. And enjoy it, because creation is important.
I want to jump off on that one as well. I think you make a valid point, and that's something that I've seen a lot of people who are in the older part of gaming that are like, look, I want to do this, but I'm afraid to do it. I don't want people to laugh at me. What if I play the game and I suck? And I'm like, who cares? You're playing the game. Everybody who plays a game or streams a game or creates content about a game, at one point or another, sucks at the game. They're not perfect. They're not going to get through the level without dying. They're not going to find everything at one shot. Everybody has a flaw, so play the game, stream the game, make content around the game, and to be happy about what you do. The reason why I play games and make content around the games, because one, it makes me happy. Two, it relieves a hell of a lot of stress off my mind. I know everybody else who plays gaming here loves it because it's a great stress reliever. So why not make content around it? Do something that you love to do. Who cares what somebody says?
Even if they make fun of my side part?
Even if they make fun of your side part.
Thank you.
Make fun of their middle part.
Okay, Hadil, seriously,
Don't do
send me
that.
their name. I will go fight them.
My side part, Tanya. something that I think we've kind of like gotten really close to touching on, and something that I love as like a middle-aged adult, is, and everybody in this room has it, that it's something that most very young people, especially like very early adulthood and like fresh out of high school children have. They are children, I'm sorry. Can speak with authority on if they are children or not. I'm a whole ass historian about it, but is we have life experience, and we have just, maybe this sounds a little bit rude, but I find that a lot of older creators know how to hold a conversation, like a one-sided conversation. I find Twitch streams with older streamers so much more engaging, because it's not just some slack-jawed 19-year-old then immediately crashing out about dying in a game that they're like the best at. Like there's a rapport, and I think for especially those of us who have jobs and have had to work with people who are just like talking to a brick wall, or you're used to just talking at somebody and it being very conversational. And I think that is just like a huge advantage of people who have just lived life a little bit longer. And the people who are young, they will get there. Maybe. This generation is a little bit different. They're built different. Making fun of my middle part. But I also find that like older people just tend to have a wealth of experience and perspective on a lot of things, especially when it comes to art forms like games and music and literature. I love watching older people like really pick apart the visual aspect of a game, and they'll notice something that I didn't notice before. And I'm a person who loves art, and I love like the artistry of game, the visual design of a game. And I love somebody who can spend time talking about that. Like, I don't give a shit about the mechanics. I will figure them out. The mechanics are not going anywhere. But if there are certain games whose content continues to be sunset with every new expansion, Destiny, I would be able to enjoy some of the art a little bit longer, okay?
Wait, you don't like the vault? You're not a fan of the vault?
I will reach across this table. Okay? There's so much stuff I want to play, and I can't play it because it's gone. Me and my side part are very sad about it.
Hadil, I'm gonna need you to let that go.
I can't. I will never let it go.
I'll buy you a drink after the panel. It's okay.
I'll let it go.
Listen, as someone who played a lot of that with my dad and now can't play it with my dad anymore, I'm with you.
Yeah, thank you. The side part, Army, we're strong, but it's there are games that I want to play, and I know I will absolutely get cooked on Twitch if I play them for the way that I want to play them. Because like mechanics be damned, it's like I want to go around and look at all the little guys that I can find in like any little area, or I'm not going to get into it, but there's a game that I want to play and nobody should actually play it, so I need to find a free version of it where I know that it is just going to be a visual and historical feast for myself. Maybe I will stream it and see how that goes. But a good game, I think, that would be a good use of this is Assassin's Creed. Like, they have like visually stunning, the little details. I love that Leonardo da Vinci would make me a Glock and would be my friend. Like, that's not a real thing that would happen, but in the game he would. And I want to look around his little workshop and all his little drawings.
I mean, in real life, he probably would.
He would,
That
okay?
man was
Like,
wild.
he really was. He would make me a gun that shoots pencils and pictures of naked men. He would do it. That's right. Leonardo da Vinci was a girl's girl.
All right, I'm gonna need us to come back.
Yes, let's bring it back.
Right.
Tyler, anything before I jump in and then we go to our next?
I have so many thoughts about Assassin's Creed, especially how I would argue Assassin's Creed Odyssey is the most historical game, but that is not
We'll
on
have to bring
topic.
Spoiler: you can submit that panel for PAX.
Yes.
You and me,
Future idea for a panel.
we'll do it together.
So I think like the thing that like stands out to me the most on this slide is just the fact that like it's not just that I started out doing game design like when I'm older, but also the fact that I am the most chronically offline, like out of the loop on pop culture person I know. I found out about K-pop Demon Hunters a month after it released, and so
Man.
that is just one of the less egregious examples.
Less
So,
egregious?
uh,
Hey, look, at least you didn't have your wife school you on what that was.
That's fair. But like it's knowing that like there's a lot of like cultural references that will go over my head, and then it's like people will say like I'll go into meetings freelancing, and people are like, oh, we want this to be more like Roblox or Fortnite. I'm like, I don't know about either of those games, just because like it's I don't know. It's this weird like nebulous area between like yeah, like it's part of the reason why I like got into games in the first place is because I wasn't someone who was able to like really play a lot of games growing up, and I've kind of been making up for lost time, and it's in the process of like starting to play a lot of these games for the first time now that I'm older that I realize, oh, I don't just like playing them, I also like I'm looking at like how they're built and wanting to like see this feature, oh, but they didn't have this feature in the game, well, how does someone add that feature, and like and yeah, it's like it's not something that like I don't think that like anyone should be reasonably expected to know what they want to do with the rest of their life at like 18. It does take a while for people to kind of figure all that out, so in a way you actually should be looking towards older creators because they've had time to actually like experiment and try stuff and figure out, okay, this is what I want to do and this is the way that works for me. And in that way, I'm really glad that there's a lot of older content creators and game devs much older than me and more experienced than me that have been willing to share their expertise. That has been almost as valuable as my master's degree. So forever grateful for that, and like always looking for like someone who I can kind of just exchange ideas with.
So a mentor.
Yes,
Yes.
mentors and mentees are very undervalued in game dev. We need more of them.
Join the IGDA and also join your local union. I have no shame, none. So we actually covered a lot of these in the course of our conversation. But the last thing I want to talk about quickly, and at this time we've got about, we still have time, so I'm not gonna ask you to stand up for Q&A yet. But the last thing I want to talk about is, especially the last bullet point of being collaborative. Because what I've seen is a lot of people, they only want to collaborate with their peers, and by peers I mean their age mates. You rarely see people collaborating with people that are quote unquote older, or coming to older streamers or people who have had more experience or doing journalism and asking for mentorship or just even advice. And that shows. And we continue to have the, oh, I'm so old. And then when you ask how old someone is, they say they're 25, maybe 20. And that's when I go take ibuprofen and sit in my rocking chair. And also gatekeeping, because I've also seen the other side of this, and like we've all talked about being positive and collaborating and welcoming people in. I have seen the old magic when it was created, and the grognards and D&D, and the, oh, well, I was here when the old magic was woven, don't talk to me, whippersnapper. Don't do that either, because you are going to push someone away who may be just starting their creation journey. So I'm going to do this quickly because we only have about 20 minutes left and I do want to have Q&A. Each of you pick a bullet point and be succinct, and I'm going to time you. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 points and 5 people, not counting me.
Okay, so I just wanted to talk about a full circle moment real quick based on the first bullet point. I promise this is on topic. So the idea of focusing on the commonalities between creators, no matter your age, it opens up the doors in a big way to learning new techniques, new interesting whatever from whomever, because you never know what somebody's lens is or what they've seen, what they've experienced in life in general. And whether you are fresh out of high school or you have your crown of silver, that's your choice, but you have a specific and interesting lens through which you view the world. But somehow all of us are here, though. We're all in the same spot because we all love the same thing. We like to create. We like to make things exist and then make them perfect and make them pretty and share them with the world. And I think old, young, middle-aged, whatever, that's something we all have in common, for sure. And another thing we all have in common is that we can learn from one another. So, for example, this is my first panel with Tanya, but this is very much a full circle moment for me because the reason I made a podcast for D&D is because of Cypher of Tyr. I heard...
Oh, time to go. Goodbye.
Get back there.
You come back and get these flowers. No, so I heard, this was back a minute, when I first got into D&D, and I heard Tanya's voice, and I was like, oh my God. No, wait, we do this too? Cool, and jumped in 2023 and have not looked back. So, full circle moment, focus on the things you got in common with people because you never know who's gonna be sitting next to you.
Can I do the last one?
Sure.
I'll make it quick. I'm probably one of the least adversarial people. Maybe. But I mean, yeah, unless you're...
All right, y'all gonna let this side part
my
go.
cyber- I don't see the point in being adversarial with somebody who has something in common with me because my things that I like are so niche for the most part that I just want to be your friend so badly. And I think when you find that thing and you find another person who you're like, oh, the little lightning bolt, the thing, the worst thing that you can do is want to be the only person who does that in a room because it becomes so lonely so fast. And that is such a huge problem with content creation is people want to be the only da-da-da-da in a room. But it becomes like if you want to be the best at that, it is very lonely at the top. And I encourage you to have as many people be into that as possible because then you have somebody to text at 4 o'clock in the morning and be like, oh my God, I saw this thing, that's fan fiction. You don't want to start your creation journey and have it start as a lonely endeavor. And in my own experience is like when in like the 2020 times when everybody was like digging in their attics and finding their American Girl dolls, I was like, finally, I can talk about this with someone else instead of like being really weird and gatekeepy about it, or even like I'm seeing a lot of academics starting to turn to TikTok and YouTube and creating these like very robust like academic spaces online, and there is like some gatekeeping going on, and I'm like, we are being defunded. I really think that this is not the time to be, I'm gonna be the smartest person in the room. And I'm like, no girl, don't do it. We're gonna have to start passing around a GoFundMe, so I think maybe be nice. Anyway, that's what I have to say on that.
All right, and at this time, if you do have a question, please line up at the mic. I suggest you write down your question. Have your phone, have paper, have smoke signals, have something, while we go through our last couple bullet points.
I'm going to jump on number 2, and I'm going to specifically talk about TTRPGs like D&D and Pathfinder, which seems weird when you talk about gatekeeping in a game that is supposed to be a collaborative game with other people, because why would you gatekeep people when you want to play with other people? And yet I see it happen way too often. And yes, I have seen, kind of like what Tanya said, the older grognards being like, I don't want to play with the young people who want to play in this way. I don't want to play with the young people who don't want to play in this way. And that weird generational divide of, well, this is the way I used to play, and this is the way I always want to play, and so I don't even want to try to find someone younger than me who wants to play that way. Or, this is the way I used to play, this is the way I will always play, I won't try any other way to play. And basically cut a whole segment of people out of your table. And it's hard enough to get a table of people together to play D&D, so why would you cut a whole swath of people? So yes, giving yourself the opportunity to try new things by letting people who you are now keeping out by saying, no, I don't want to do that. Let them sit at your table and then try the new things because they're sitting at your table. Don't gatekeep them. Bring them to the table and then make the scheduling happen.
Right, anything else before we open up the Q&A floodgates?
I could understand there's space for everyone at the table, just because going beyond even like different ages, like game dev, like kind of hopping on what you were saying, is incredibly collaborative. If you are an adversarial game dev, you are not going to be a game dev for too long. I am a firm believer that there is a game out there for everyone, and it just stands to reason that there should be a game dev in everyone. Not to say that like everyone should have to learn programming. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. But if you like that, good for you. And yeah, it's like I just try to be as like opening and understanding with as many people as possible, because they might just be like how I was 5 years ago, trying to figure out, okay, how do I do this game dev thing? Is there even a career in this? Because yeah, it takes time and it takes effort to figure that out. And so the more room you leave for people, it really ends up being better, because you may end up being a collaborator with that person down the road. So.
Thought? Keith? Anything?
I was just going to be quiet and let the people in Q&A get up.
All right. All right. Oh, hello. I can kind of see you because there's a light right in my face. Also, don't make Susie give you this look, or me give you this look. Yes?
I would never. Hi. I am really curious about the first moment, and I'm sorry in advance, this is kind of a two-part question because
As long as it's a question.
it is. It's two. So I want you to think about the first time that you guys realized that ageism was a thing in streaming, and maybe tell me how you guys might have handled it then. And with that in mind, now when you do your content creation, like how do you feel audiences? Do you think that your audience responds differently when they know your age versus when they don't? And do you feel like you have to maybe balance being authentic about your age versus kind of doing like a performative, like catering to the youth, like using,
I don't cater to
throwing
the
out slang, bussin' and
Oh, God,
frizz
no.
and skibbity in Ohio and whatever else.
If anyone ever hears me do that, I've been replaced by a pod person. So I will take this one quickly. For me, it was, again, hearing people, like, Lauren talked about, mentioning things of like the 80s or what have you, or the 70s. I mean, I was a small child in the 70s, but still. And having that ... that silence in chat and going, oh, none of you know what a Yellow Pages is. Oh, no. And, and having some people continue the conversation, or just even being in other chats and hearing the I'm so old comment. I'll be the first one that's like, did you just say that you're old? And then you can see it, especially if they're on camera, with them going, oh no, I've said the wrong thing. Or they try to justify it. And ageism has been there. I mean, I'm a writer, I do fanfic, I do other fandom stuff, and there's always been this weird idea that that is not for people of a certain age. And I will just call it out. I'm not nice about it, I don't care anymore. At the age of 50, my fucks were barren. I no longer care. And if I ever start using slang to relate to the youths, please come check on me. I am not okay.
Especially skibbity. Let's leave that in
No,
the draft.
no skibbity, no.
I still don't know what skibbity means, and at this point I'm too afraid to ask.
And
but
we're not answering it.
if I I've had a different experience where like some of the content I've created, and one of the things that I do is I create content for a women's historical society, and I've introduced myself like I do this for this, and there's like this. They already understand that I am at advanced age is not the word that I want to say, but they know that I'm older and I am farther along in my career. So I haven't had the experience of people come in and they're like, oh, I'm so old, I'm only like 19. So luckily I haven't had that, but I have had experience where I say like, oh, I am teaching a college class, and they'll be like, not very nice about it. And I think I've only had like one really negative experience where somebody made a comment about like my appearance as an old person, and I told them to go eat a Tide Pod. So all right, I'm just saying my generation never ate any laundry soap, so
No. All right. Do we have one more quick response before we move to the next person? Is everyone good?
I literally just don't care.
I mean, legit.
Unbothered. I
will-
love it.
I will not change who I am. I'll do what I want. I will stream and make content for myself. I'm not making it for you anymore. I'm doing it because I want to do it. And if you have a problem with it, I don't care anymore.
Period.
I just will tell people straight up, get the fuck out of my chat. That's the end of it. Yes, next.
Hi. Just sort of a question. I've been doing content creation myself for about 10 years now. I'm 38. How do you guys sort of get beyond sort of the mental effect of seeing, oh, I haven't seen as much growth or I haven't seen that much here, and then turning around and seeing, oh, this 19-year-old just surpassed 1 million followers in their first, 2 weeks? Because, I don't do it as a full-time. It's just a hobby.
So your question is, how do you deal with seeing someone who is maybe half your age growing exponentially versus where you are?
Yeah, because obviously it's not something where I want to be
So that's your question?
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah.
I got this. There are people of every single age who are doing everything that I do and doing it better, faster, and making more money doing it. And that's got to be okay with me. And sometimes it's not, and sometimes it is. But remembering that when it comes to playing the oboe, performing on TTRPGs, performing, streaming, being a community manager, any of the stuff that I do, there's someone out there. There is a child prodigy who is doing it better and making more money doing it. And you know what? That's fine, because there are billions of people in the world, and I'm not competing with that child prodigy. I'm just looking for the couple of people who are going to follow me and be happy that I'm making them happy. And it's important to remember that. It kind of goes back to that whole, it can't be a competition between everybody. There's billions of people out there. There's enough audience for everybody. So you can't be thinking about every other person streaming as your competitor. You can't think about every other person that's doing content as your competitor. These are your peers, and you have to think of them as people that you respect. And if they are succeeding and doing well, that's great. Maybe you can learn something from them. Maybe it's just like, that's great, you go do your thing. And you have to let it wash off, or else it will eat you alive.
I want to jump in real quick as well. Do you enjoy what you're doing?
Oh, absolutely.
Then there you go.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Eyes on your own paper, baby.
Yeah.
Forward
It's a good way to
march.
think of it.
You're fine.
And
Where you
also,
going?
you still have a soul at the end of the day. Imagine what that 19-year-old may be doing to get those views.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not being funny. I've seen the things that get millions of views. I would rather eat my own arm than do some of the things I've seen on TikTok and Instagram, et cetera. Comparison is the thief of joy. Write that down and keep that on your monitor.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks so much.
Best of luck.
Hello.
Hello.
I just started my own career in narrative design in my 30s, and I was wondering, thank you. I was wondering how y'all viewed like your age and your life experience and how that improved your creativity, because I know certainly I would not be able to write the amazing stories that I do write in my 20s.
Well, first of all, come find me afterwards because I would love to talk narrative design and writing with you. Honestly, the thing that kind of, sorry, could you repeat the question again for me?
How would you say that your age and your life experiences improved your own writing in comparison?
I think what helps is knowing that, like, even though I definitely still have room to grow, I have grown in some areas. Like, it's gotten to the point where, like, now I have people, like, coming up to me at conventions and, like, asking me for advice, and I'm just, like, looking around like, are you sure you want it from me? Like, the guy who runs Larian Studios is right over there, but okay. And yeah, and honestly, it is kind of affirming to know that, like, I have gotten to that stage. It took a lot of time and effort, but inevitably, like, there are people who want to hear, like, what you have to say, what you have to write, and age can only improve that because you have more and more life experiences and work experiences to draw from. Lord knows I have. So just, yeah, make the most of what you have so far and just keep applying it forward to everything you do. And I hope that's useful advice.
For me, it's just been the things that I have survived have made me both stronger and also a little more paranoid. But it's given me those nuggets of things that I would never have thought about as a writer, that I can put into a story, that I can put into a narrative, or I can bring to a writer's room. Because the collaborative part comes in where, in my 50s, I got a whole lot more things that I can put into a story as someone from Chicago, as someone who's black and queer and femme, etc. So all the things you're experiencing that have not taken you out can only give you more things to write about. And that's anything that anyone's doing, honestly. So, you know, write those thoughts down, keep them with you, and, you know, if it will help your craft, also just learning from other people, learning from other narrative folks. So yes, if you have info or if you're doing other narrative stuff, please let us know.
Thank you.
Okay. So, hopefully I phrased this correctly, but I won't know if this is a good question until I try. So, as someone who grew up mostly alone, had to be raised by the internet, and got burned plenty of times, do you have any advice on how to defeat my anxiety and get my name out there so it's not just me streaming into a void?
None of us are therapists, so I don't know if any of us feel qualified to answer that. I personally don't.
I can kind of talk to anxiety. First and foremost, yes, talk to somebody like a therapist for sure.
Yep.
But also, the thing that helped me in contending with my anxiety, I can't tell you what's going to work for you. That's up to you.
I'm trying everything. Like,
What?
you're like person number like 50 that I've asked. Like, this is how I do it. Anyway.
Well, ain't nothing to it but to do it, baby. Because after a point, the anxiety is going to stop you if you continue to listen to it.
Yes.
So if you want to create content or whatever, hit record.
Okay.
And if you're streaming into a void, so what? Who cares? You're not going to be Kai Cenat tomorrow. You're fine. So just like I told this other gentleman here, eyes on your own paper, forward march, focus on what you can do, what makes you happy and what brings you joy, and ignore anxiety because it will stop you every time.
Okay.
Best of luck.
All right. Thank you.
All right, we have 3 minutes left. Hopefully we can get through everyone, so please be as succinct as you can.
Thank you very much. Quick question is, do you have any advice for any aspiring older creators when they're starting out their content creation path?
Go do it, and if anyone calls you old, punch them in the mouth. Don't literally punch them in the mouth, but because I mean, you got bail, you got 5 on bail. Yes, for legal reasons, that is a joke.
Punch them in the mouth.
I know, but just go do it, and you know, find older streamers. You know, I stream, Lauren streams. Go find people. You know, hit me up after. I got a list of people you can go follow that are awesome, and just go watch what they're doing. See, learn from an example.
Thank you.
I swear I will stop answering every question.
Hi. Sorry. Do you have any advice on if you're approached by other content creators who want to collaborate and find out they're under 18? Any advice on how to deal with that? Because then they're like, hey, let's collaborate, but let's also be best friends.
I
Tell
have
them
advice.
no.
It's okay to tell children no.
Right. Yeah, tell them no immediately.
And it's actually like one of the great things about being an older creator, or just an older person on the internet, is I am so affirmed in telling people under the age of 18 who are children no. That is my role as an adult in society, to tell them no. And you can do it very gently. I think especially like as they get a little bit older in their teen years, they're wanting to try new things and like figure out their place in the world, which is completely normal. But you're an adult and you're not really in a position to be their friend. So encourage them to like find somebody at school and be like, I'm so sorry, I'm an adult, I got a job, I can't really collaborate with you. It's okay to tell kids no. They'll be okay.
Yeah.
All right, we have 2 minutes. Can we do it?
I believe in you.
Hi. Do you have any advice for a new content creator that is older and is into character creation and script creation?
Go create some characters and write some scripts, baby. Go nuts. So the world is your oyster. It's all you, baby.
Yeah, just really quick, do you mean in terms of TTRPGs when you're playing a video game?
No, I write like stories and then I act them out myself.
Oh, that's cool.
That's super fun. And I think for that kind of thing, just make as many as you possibly can and try different things, even things that, not illegal, but things that may like take you out of your comfort zone when you want to do like character creation. I think that's really helpful.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And if you're not comfortable doing it live, record it and put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Last question, we did it. We got it.
Yes. So, advice on handling negativity towards content whenever you're getting started.
Ignore them. Nasty people leave nasty comments. That's not your problem, baby. Ignore them.
Anytime I've gotten a mean comment, I ask myself, when was the last time I've left a response like that? Oh, never, because I have a job and I don't eat Tide Pods.
Right.
Just something to think about. You can also like hide comments too. Like you do not have to subject yourself to these people. You can hide them.
Yeah.
Yeah, real quick, I will say that from a game dev perspective, I have gotten some comments on my, like writing samples or portfolio where they've been like, oh, it doesn't look professional or it looks unpolished. And that is pretty much a good gauge on whether or not they actually are serious game devs or not, because your portfolio, you should be comfortable showing unpolished work. It is a evolution leading up to the polished, finished piece. So. Definitely take it with a grain of salt and don't feel bad if you do get a critique, because if nothing else, worst case scenario, you can add those changes to the next version that you do.
All right, but one thing and then we'll do our outro. I know we're at time. If someone gives you unsolicited advice, that is critique you did not ask for, tell them to go fuck off. No, seriously. If you are putting your portfolio out and you are asking for critique, that is one thing. If some random person on the internet finds your portfolio and gives you unasked for advice, tell them to unkindly go fuck off because you didn't ask.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm also a combative Aries. Hello.
This is all assuming you did ask for feedback, so listen to Tanya.
All right, so quickly, who are you? Are you doing anything else at the con? And if so, where can we find you?
I'm going to be here pretty much today and tomorrow. But yeah, so I am still doing game dev stuff. I wish I could talk about most of it, but most of it is under NDA. But yeah, still doing freelance narrative design. You can find me online on Twitter, because I refuse to call it X, Blue Sky, at Boyce Games. And then, of course, I'm on LinkedIn. I actually use LinkedIn more than anything.
That's how you know he's old.
Yeah. Fair. But yeah, and so, yeah, come find me and talk to me about game writing. I'll happily oblige.
I have been Hadil and will continue to be so for the foreseeable future. I have no other panels, but you can find a lovely table in the PAX Together room for Geek Girl Con, which is another organization that I help run. Sometimes I'll be sitting there in fun outfits. I love a good outfit. You can find me online on Instagram at Hadil Jean, but it's spelled Jeanne. It's French, I'm sorry. And Blue Sky, and those are the only things that I use right now because I forget about the other ones.
Hi, I'm Lauren Urban. I have no other panels here, but if you want to see some of the other stuff I'm doing, just go to my website, lauren-urban.com. Go to the front page of my website. It's got all of the streams that I'm currently on and any of the stuff that I've written and put out there. So, and also links to my Blue Sky and my Instagram, so it's all in one place, so you can take a look, and I don't have to remember a lot of different URLs for things, so just lauren-urban.com. So because I don't have any other panels, you'll just find me hanging out, supporting other people, and eating pierogi.
As you should. Hey, howdy, hi, y'all. My name is Alex. I have been yapping here. If you want to find me on the internet, I am under Alex AMA, sometimes underscore, sometimes not, Alex with an I. And you can find me on all of the places because I don't have a centralized website yet, like some cool people next to me. So yeah, if you want to follow me there, you can find me on Blue Sky. That's where I do the most of my yapping. So thanks for having me, y'all.
All right, I'm Keith Mitchell. You can find me over at theouterhaven.net. Pretty much everything I do is over there. I'll be here for the rest of the weekend doing gaming journalism stuff and talking to people and putting a microphone in people's faces. I also wanted to throw out there, if anybody does have any questions regarding getting started content creation, or like say like, hey, I have a technical question, or how does this work, or things of that nature, I am always available to help people on the internet. The thing I like to tell people all the time is when I go, I can't take that information with me, so I will share it as long as I am available.
And I've been your moderator, Cypher of Tyr. That is my handle everywhere online, CYPHROFTYR. I've got another panel tonight, 7:30, about marginalized identities in TTRPGs in Frog. Yes, in Frog. And then tomorrow, Amazing Black Femmes in the Industry. That is at 3:30. And then I'll just be free roaming, so see me around the con, find me online. If you find yourself already blocked, go ask yourself why. Go have a good night. We will hang around for a few minutes for questions, and thank you, PAX. Oh, and do the thingy. Scan the QR code.
Scan it. Do the survey. We love surveys as old people.